what it does is it comes up and it said, when you try and go live, because I set it up earlier on, when you try and go live, it comes up and it says change orientation on the thing. For some reason, it thinks you've got it the wrong way. So look, all messages. There we go. Good evening, Mike. How are you doing? I don't know how we're going to do on this. The last time we did it, there weren't that many come in. I don't seem to be set right. I think the microphone's in the wrong place, to be honest. That's better. Now I know where I am. It's pointing down, I think. The bloody phone's pointing down. Technical trouble. That's what we've got. Anyway, we're only here for the comments. Ginger, bearded, vape god, how you doing? I'm a bit... I wouldn't say I'm snotty because I'm not. I think it's hay fever, to be honest, but it's been chucking it down here all day. Graham, spelt correctly. Not first. How you doing? Nice to see you. So I don't know. We seem to have lost all the trolls, which doesn't make it quite as much fun, but I didn't make it last week. The cat's not been very well. And if anybody loves the cat, you'll know just exactly how I was feeling. I actually thought it was coming to the time it was his final demise. Anyway, it turns out he just had an infection. So now he's jumping about and eating like a Trojan. So I'm really pleased with that. So good evening to 5 people. So Graham, Cloud Chucker, and the lovely John. That's it. But there's 5 in the thing. So if you want to share it out, which would be fabulous, hopefully somebody will come in and watch us. No trolls bring cheats in. No, I got on well with him, so he's not, but it makes you laugh when you get all those young'uns coming in going, "Are you gay?" and all that sort of crap. But anyway, they're not here tonight. Whether they've stopped doing that thing where they were sharing you out if you went vertical, I can go back to going on the computer. It doesn't, it'd suit me that, really, to be honest. I think if you hit the thumbs up, it helps. Shall I put the... where's the bit where you can do... Oh, retouch. There we go. When you get to my age, you need retouching. I'm going to tell the wife when she gets home from work. Dear Susie, retouch me. It's my wife's birthday today. She's 23, I think it is. Good evening, Bruce. It was Bruce's idea that I went live, so I'm pleased he's coming. I was in Tim's... if anybody's never seen him before, Tim Dowd, living with MS in Tenerife. He's a brilliant bloke. He obviously lives in Tenerife. He lives in Slovakia, where I went for my 50th birthday. So he has a wonder. She's at work, mate. I'll tell her when she comes in. 31 people. Red Milk said hi. Good evening to you. Now, what we're trying to do, actually, is get up to 300 subscribers, and we're on 277 at the minute, so I don't think that's going to be the most difficult thing to do in the world if we can actually get anybody in. So thank you very much for popping in and saying hello, if you say hello. And if you enjoy yourself while you're here, please give us a subscription. But if you also give us a thumbs up, it really seems to help you up the analytics a little bit and more people come in. We've soon dropped. What's the topic? The topic is, it's open, really. I always put we're only here for the comments as a title, because on the first few weeks that I did it, we did tend to get a lot of people in with, jocular questions, shall we say? So it was, to be honest, it was great. It was great fun. We had loads and loads of people in one night. We had loads of people, and some people thought they were trolling and it didn't really work out. And other people, just came in for a laugh, and we had a really good time. So I've done a couple. I think I did about 2 weeks where I did 2 a week. But last week I wasn't here. So anyway, next week I'm going walking. I've met Tim in Tenerife a couple of times. Yeah, a nice bloke. All right, do you go walking with him over there? I could actually do that. I'd enjoy doing that with him, to be honest. But I said, Slovakia, when he was walking up today, because you was on today, weren't you? That restaurant on the corner, that's where I had my 50th birthday. The one at the bottom of the hill as you come down. Because we were, as you walked up, I think you went over to the left. It's 8 years ago, and I've only ever been to that area once. But we were on the Villa Estate right at the top. But sadly, the one we rented was from, you don't see them about anymore. Whether the pandemic took them, I don't know. But, what do they call them? Villa Plus. We rented it through Villa Plus. And as soon as you turned up, the guy next door looked absolutely foul out the window and kept staring at you for the whole fortnight you were there. Because I think, obviously, he'd bought a lovely retirement place up on the top. And obviously then, Villa Plus had rented these places out, and they were making so much noise. in the villa next door, enjoying a holiday because that's what they'd rented. So it didn't make it the best. It was just a shame, really, to be honest. But I think they sold it. I think we were the last ones in there, and they sold it because they got too many complaints. But you can understand it. You retired to a little villa estate, and then somebody starts with a rental next door. I can't think it's the best thing in the world. You spent all your money, and you're stuck with that row. So he was absolutely foul, the guy next door. But I sort of looked across one day. We were sat inside the front room, and he was actually staring out of his window at our window to look in the window. So I sort of looked at him a bit funny like that and shut the curtains. So I wasn't as friendly with him as I could have been, but it just got on your nerves, to be honest. But I say they flogged it now, so you can't rinse it. Good evening, John. How you doing, mate? So hope you all had a good weekend. Obviously, the weather's not been kind, has it, really? In fact, it's been bloody awful here. Today, it's chucked it down. I had first job this morning. I took my dad for his cataract off. We won't do it anymore because he's only got 2 eyes, and we did the other one the other week. So I got the job of making the coffee out of the coffee machine in the... Hello, Lynn. How you doing, mate? Nice to see you. I got the job of making the coffee out of the coffee machine because, I knew how to work it because I've been before. Quick press on the coffee, 2 presses on the milk, and then press the green button and it shoots your coffee out. So if you ever go to Spa Medica at Balby near Doncaster, that's how the coffee machine works. And if you get stuck, give us a shout, I'll let you know. So he's had them both done now. He's 88 years old, so he should be all right. Yeah, it has here. It started just after 12, I think, and basically chucked it down until probably an hour ago. And now it keeps coming up in sort of showers. I'm hoping, I've looked, and the East Coast next week, I can see you now. My eyes are tight tonight. I'm buggered today, to be honest. I've looked at the East Coast for next week. Say that one again. Good on you for caring for Dad. Yeah, he's 88. Yeah, he doesn't really need caring for, to be honest. He rings up and tells you what he needs. And there's no choice, you know what I mean? There's no, we don't say, no, that's not happening. It's like, right, and this is what I need. He's still the boss. He's a beautiful, beautiful man. I absolutely adore him. I don't know what's going to happen to me when he goes. But I say he's got to 88 and he's had ill health since he was 60. Started with high blood pressure at about my age, to be really honest. Yeah, he's the man, yeah. Yeah, he still is the man, yeah. Yeah, Dad's are. Yeah, he's amazing. He's good for advice. He doesn't give advice when it's not, you know what I mean? He doesn't stick his nose in. He's got 3 sons, so obviously he's the one that gives the advice. But he's not one of these that rings up, sticking his nose in and telling you stuff. But, like when I was bad on the ale, I did get a little comment about that. And when my lad was playing up, and I got into some pretty serious arguments with a certain guy, he told me to pack it in before I ended up in prison and stuff. You just get the odd bit like that. But I say he's not bossy. He doesn't come down and start sticking his nose in. Good evening, Mr. CC. How you doing? Nice to see you, buddy. Here's the thing for you. I bought a couple of... I'm not going to talk too much about it on here because otherwise it doesn't do the stream any good. But I bought a couple of tanks from China and they turned up last week. And I was looking for something to put in them and I found a couple of proper ones. So I thought I'd run out of them. And in a drawer, I found 2 aliens. Your problem child gave you a breakdown. Well, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I've had my youngest. He's been hard work, but he's not anymore. He's dealt with. He gets looked after by a charity because you get to the stage where you can't do him any good. I know it'd be everybody says, oh, you've got to look after your kids, and you know what I mean. When they get to be mentally ill, older men. You can't look after them. You need proper training. Otherwise, it just saps the life out of you. You just can't do it. So that's what they do. And our life is much better for it. So 14 people in. Have we got 14 people chatting? We definitely ain't got 14 thumbs up. So 277 subscribers as of today. I got 2 more today. I went on with Tim, and obviously, I didn't go on with Tim. I went watching Tim, and obviously, Tim actually is like a walking channel, so it was the perfect thing. I've got some more people that do some walking, so that's good. I haven't actually been for a walk this week because yesterday was absolutely awful here and I was too busy. I went and put Lou a washing line up, which you may think is really easy, but she got one of these ones and she's got a garage. So it goes from the garage to the thing, and it's one of these that rolls out. So you have to put 4 screws in a hook on the garage wall. Well, it's like it was armour plated. It didn't matter how much I drilled and I drilled and I drilled and I drilled. And my shoulders are aching because obviously I ain't got any steps or anything like that. I come home and got proper drill bits because there was some included in the drills, and I just thought it must be them. And anyway, in the end, I got 3 in, and I thought, well, 3 will have to do. But I sort of put my finger around it like that. I could nearly pull myself off the floor. Well, I don't think I could, but you know what I mean? I think the hook was going to snap a long time before it came out of the wall. You should go in Tim's chat room and chat online live. Does he do like a Zoom thing? I'd like to have a word with him. I think you'll grow with consistency. See, I usually skipped by live streams because they're boring. This is good. I feel like you're in the room. That's the way I try and do it, to be honest. Somebody pointed out that when they listen to one of my videos, because I do walking videos, they said that it's as if you're actually just talking to them. And the way that's the way I try and do it, to be honest. I imagine the man or woman that's, disabled and lives on their own. They haven't got anything to, they haven't got any family or something like that, and they spend 24 hours a day looking at the same 4 walls, and I always try and do it when I'm doing a stream or when I'm doing a video. I always try to make it that I'm talking to them, because I am each individual person. I don't really do it and say, oh, hello group or anything like that, because, that's the way I do it. Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't get that. I got most of them, but not the bottom bit. I think as my son is 6'5". If you got assaulted by him, you'd know you've been assaulted. You definitely subscribe, and I can see you passionate. I am passionate. I've been doing YouTube for since 2020, but before that we used to do Google Hangouts, and there was a thing called Blabon for a while. They used the old Bebo platform, and I used to go on there, and they were a similar thing. He's a big lad. He's got no weight to him now, because obviously they all, mental health and stuff like that. But he went to the gym once, and God, he's enormous. But my youngest brother's 6'4", and he's actually bigger than my youngest brother. He's massive. But now he's very, very thin. But he's a very, very troubled young man, or middle-aged man now. Really, he's 37. Yeah, so I started doing YouTube. That's the only thing where I go wrong. I should answer one question and then go on to the next one. Started doing YouTube in 2020, just before the lockdown, and ran a channel about e-cigarettes. And obviously now YouTube have gone off the idea of e-cigarettes, so they demonetised all the channels. And I must admit, I felt it was a bit of a smack in the teeth. I thought, well, 5 years' work gone down the pan. We don't want you anymore. Bye. So I thought, well, I'll go then. Bye. And just at that time, I'd been for a medical, found out I'd got massively high blood pressure, needed to lose a bit of weight. So I thought, well, the obvious thing is buy a camera and go for a walk, because I've never had any motivation to take any exercise whatsoever. But the fact that I've got to make a video for Friday makes me go out for a walk. So that's what I've done, except for this week, because I worked Sunday night till late, and then yesterday was absolutely awful. And there's no joy whatsoever in walking around in a sort of hot wind when it's raining on you, or even because you can't really cover yourself up. Now, in the winter, I did quite a few in the winter. I went, once, twice a week, and it was freezing cold, but I got a big coat, and you could wear that because it was winter, but you couldn't get away with that now. Things have really great. I mean, he went for psychiatric rehabilitation, which stopped him using. It was like uppers he was on, coke and stuff like that. But the trouble is with amphetamines, if you take enough of it, it just completely blows your brains out. And so he, they got him to stop taking that. But the trouble is the damage is done. He's very much into religion, and if it works for him, I'm quite happy for him. He's read the Quran. He's read the Catholic Bible. Obviously, he's read I never said our Bible. I'm not religious, but he's read he reads literature all the time and about all sorts of stuff, and it's all he ever talks about, really. But he's happy in his own little way, and that's it. As good as it gets. He did ring me up when he was. He rang me up. I do speak to him. We're taking birthday presents and Christmas presents, but he rang me up last Easter, not this one, what's just gone, and he said, Dad, have I got any Easter eggs? I said, Michael, you're 37. So that was the end of that. Like, he didn't ask for any this year. But he sends my wife about 50 text messages a day, all to do with the same thing. Yeah, it has been a miserable day today. It's been awful, hasn't it? Dad, have we got any Easter eggs? No, Michael, you're a big boy now. You thought you ain't getting Easter egg. Well, yeah, that's right. But the thing is with him, you don't get a birthday card, you don't get a phone call, you don't get a Christmas card. And the only thing is, it's like if I took him something down once. Obviously, we've been in the vape game for a long, not compared to a lot of people, but for a while. A lot of stuff's come through for review, so you end up with a fair collection. So, take him a mod down and a couple of bottles of juice, and a couple of days later he'd ring up and say, Dad, what? I ain't got any milk. So I'm not in charge of milk. You'll have to drink it without. Because that's the way they work. It's like, I ain't got any milk, I ain't got any this, I ain't got any that. You end up paying for everything. Even though he was on quite a lot of money, to be honest. But for some reason he stopped texting. So whether he's in hospital, I don't know. But they don't, if he goes in hospital, if he's having a bit of a bad time, if he goes into hospital, it won't let him ring me. And even when you're looking after him, it's as if he's got this little devil inside him that just thinks, well, I'll see if I can drive my dad crackers. But, that's life, isn't it? That's what you have to do. The joys of APD autism. I was getting about 2 hours sleep a night, nightmares of his... Yeah, that's the worrying thing, isn't it? All of it, really. I use e-cigarettes myself, and obviously a lot of the people that are in this chat now, or some of the people that's in this chat now, they're all the same. They're, quite like CC there. I've met him. John that's in there, I met him. You know what I mean? We all sort of meet up once a year and have a bit of a laugh. All of it, really. I've been doing it since 2016, and innovation has innovated quite a lot since then. We don't do a lot about it on here because I actually I've got 3 channels. This is the newest one, basically, and I was doing something else, chattering away on it, and I started vaping, and they put it behind the age gate, put it behind the 18 plus age gate. So that's the way they are with it now. They're just not interested in it being on their thing. Yes, I will be going live. Yes, it's a few weeks away. That's all it is. I've got plans of going out and doing the sunsets. That's what I'm thinking of doing. Yeah, 2010. Yeah, I started 2016. It was when I'm 58. I'm 59 this year. And on my 50th birthday, which was in November, I'd stopped smoking in the January. And I remember the feeling in that November that it was just starting to release itself, because I'd smoked for that long. Even with the vapes, I was really struggling to keep off the fags. I really, really was. Obviously, fag in the UK, I don't know where you're from, Red Milk, but fag in the UK is not an abusive word. It's the name for a cigarette. Tried my first vape in 2008. Yeah, I picked a bloke up. I don't know if I ever tell this story, but I'll tell it again anyway. I picked a bloke up in the cab, and he was about 10 miles away from me, and he got this big bag full of things. And I said, what's them? He says, well, I said, I'm going to I think it was Thailand. He said, I'm going to Thailand. And he said, I'm going to make some money selling these and I'm going to get people off cigarettes. And it turned out to be them cigarettes. And he was sat in the back because obviously he could smoke then. But, he's still vaping there. But, he didn't even ask if you could smoke when you got in the cab. He just lit one up. And he's there dragging on this cigarette and he's going like that. And there's nothing really, just like the smallest amount of vapour that came out. And I said, well, I think I'll stick to my fags, and just stuck another Marlboro in the corner of my mouth and got stuck in. And and that's, but I was wrong and he was right. Thankfully, anyway. Never had a cigarette or vaped. Drink too much beer at weekends, though. Yeah, so I haven't had a drink now since November the 13th, 2024. That was my last alcoholic drink. I've just been with a lot of the people that's near Bruce. I've just been at the Vapor Expo in Birmingham with them. But last year when I went, I got stuck in with the old booze. And this year, I've got to be honest, when weeks before, I'm thinking, oh no, I don't think I'm going to enjoy this. And I said to my wife, I said, I'll probably go in on a Saturday morning, and I'll probably go on with the Friday night, I'll probably do this, but it's a bit of a waste of time going. And you know what? As soon as I got in there, it was like going back to it's like putting a pair of comfy slippers on. Such lovely, lovely people. I met John a cup of coffee. He's never got over it. Can't believe it. 59, kudos, man. You seem younger. No, I'm not. Well, I'm 59 in November, so it's approaching. Lovely, pretty quickly. But we had a cracking time. I didn't want to come home, to be honest. If it had been another 3 days, I'd have stayed. I think you were the last to leave out of our group, weren't you, John? But I left at 10 to 4. Obviously, Bunny, she was flying home, so she probably left a little bit later. But a lot of them left in the morning because, they didn't bother coming in on the last day because they needed to get back. But I just, my wife was at work, so I wasn't in any hurry to get home at all. I just, it was brilliant. But this year we're going to a place called Moraira, which is in Spain. You fly into Alicante and you go down. Now, I've never driven in that area of Spain. I've driven in the other area. So I'm not really sure as it goes. It looks like you just head for Benidorm and then go past, just on the same road. And it takes you down to Calpe. I don't know if it's written Calpe, Calpe, or Calp, or however you say it. And just before you get to that, you get to Moraira. Now, last year, obviously, with Lou not being very well, we took her to Torrox Costa, and we got robbed while we were there. They stole all the holiday money. When she came back, she was talking to a friend at work, and a friend told another friend and about how she'd got the stage 4 cancer and kids, and this had happened to her, and or this had happened to us, because the idea was it was one off her bucket list. She wanted to go to the area where we sort of fell in love with, and we'd been going for about 10 years. Of course, we got robbed, didn't we? So she went. Anyway, this lady told another one, and she said, "Oh, they must go and stay in my villa for a week." And then they went on and raised the money for the flights. And then we said to them, "While we're there for a week, can we rent it for the second week?" They said, "You're more than welcome." So we were going for 2 weeks. So it should be nice. I don't really know. It looks like it's on a estate or a villa estate, or a housing estate or whatever. It's got a little pool there. So we'll be off there with the grandkids. But I've got planned, because obviously I don't drink now. So while they're having a little drinky at night, I've got planned of jumping in my car, going down or somewhere with a beautiful sort of look, and doing live streams a few times a week, and showing people that way. I think that would be quite an interesting thing to do. Yeah, I love Expo as well, man. But that's what I'm going to do. So if anybody's interested, I'll put them up, and because obviously I've got set up now. It's took a bit of doing, but I've got myself a Samsung phone, which is a lot easier to use for streaming because it's got a Type-C. I bought some new microphones because they're a lot easier to use. So hopefully this selfie stick, I'll get it stood somewhere with a phone on it, and we should have a bit of fun. Swans and Wildlife. Good evening, John. How you doing, mate? Sounds like you've had it rough. It's not been easy, mate. It's not been easy. Well done for keeping strong. You have to, yeah. Yeah, that was another reason for stopping drinking, because I wasn't keeping strong anymore. It was getting past me, mate. To be honest, that's the truth. And you've always got a tear behind every eye if you're drunk. So that's it. How you doing, John? Have you been to Lanzarote yet? It's actually, if I was sat there, if I'd never seen you, if I'd never seen me for the first time, I'd just think, well, this bloke's obviously, he's after something. He's looking for donations or something like that, because nobody has that bad a look in life. Well, it's actually really true. Well, a lot of these lads know it's true because they're all on my Facebook, so they know full well what's going on. But my wife's birthday today, so the other day, here's an interesting story for you. My daughter said, oh no, you want to just go to Mablethorpe? Chuck it down. Yeah, Porto del Carmen. I've usually stopped in Teguise when I've gone. But I've driven, we were on about it last week, I don't know if you was here, Bruce, or the other week. I've driven all around the island 1 million times. Well, that's probably a slight exaggeration. You don't exaggerate when you get to my age. It's definitely an exaggeration, but I must have driven around it 30 or 40 times. Because every time I go, I rent a car and go, oh, let's go so-and-so for dinner. So we go up the other end of the island, down to El Golfo or something like that. But I love it over the other side where the surfers are as well. It's beautiful over there, completely different. Changed to a different hotel in Lanzarote. Why do they keep cancelling it? Is it Love Holidays or something? Seems weird, that. I've never, what did we have? The only time we ever had it was when we were during the lockdown, when everything was going wrong, wasn't it? There was one week we were going to, now where were we going first? We were going to Tenerife. Oh yeah, of course, forgot about that, John. Yeah, sorry, mate. Going to Flamingo, I think it's. Oh, right, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Teguise is lovely. I don't know if Porto del Carmen's more lovely, though. There seems to be more bars there. But I've never actually been to Playa Blanca, but I've seen it on the property shows, and that looks lovely as well. But there's a nudist beach next to Playa Blanca, isn't there? When you go down on that, you drive down that dust track, and then you just park up, and then there's a few beaches there, and one of them's a nudist beach. So I said to my wife, let's go for a walk across here. Didn't realise it was a nudist beach. And there's a man with a little sausage on his knee. Sue said, I think we ought to go the other way. She says, why is that? She said, he's got no clothes on. I said, all right, I know where we are now then. So we went back. I can't think what they call those 3 beaches. Normally they'll travel into Teguise, but right, that's where we've been. We've been there a couple of times. You're going to have to look at Little Todgy. I don't think it's that much fun. Yeah, well, that. We went to the El Treble before it was done, because straight across in that square, straight across the thing, there was a place called Legends, and we used to go in there. It was absolutely buzzing, and there was a Spanish restaurant on that corner, and all of a sudden they closed the back door of the El Treble, so nobody could go out there. So that square just died. And then the Legends caught fire, so they've never done anything to it, or they hadn't done that. Chinese shut down, and they just walked out there one day and never came back. The Crazy Golf went. But we used to stay in one above or just behind the Legends bar. Sol Apartments, we used to stay in them. And my daughter's been in that good old Legends. Have you been in there? Ian? God, I don't know where. Oof. Gonna go zoo. Are you going to go to the zoo? What, Lanzarote Zoo? No, I didn't know. We ended up on a nudist beach in Playa Vera. We didn't know, but there's like a mile square with the bars and everything. All right, nice. Yeah, it's a long time ago when I first went, but say it's all gone now. There's a little bar what seems to start up in the ruins of it and then closes down. We got there one night. We walked in and they said, there's no act on tonight because it's changeover night. So I said, oh, well, I'm not bothered. So I've just come for a beer. We've just got off the plane ourselves. She went, all right, come in then. So we went in and she said, what we normally do is we put a film on or a DVD. So they put on Phoenix Nights, second season, and we sat there and watched the whole of it. And there was only me and my wife sat there, and we had these like peacock back chairs, these them rattan chairs. And anyway, we'd been sat there a good long while watching this thing, and I got up to go get another drink, and everybody else had come in really quiet, and they were all sat watching it. So we thought we were sat on our own near the stage, and when we looked around, the place was full. People watched the whole first season, and I'd never seen it before. I was howling. The whole second season, should I say. And then when we got back, we bought the first season, and I didn't think it was anywhere near as good. I didn't realise it was a zoo in Lanzarote. Have you been to Tim and Fire, John? That's worth the trip if you get a car. Tiggizi Market's a bit of a waste of time, but... So where are you going to stop now, do you know? The cat's getting better. Get yourself up there, up the old Fire Mountain. Look at one of my videos. Well, if you just look at my video, it'll save you going up there, really, won't it? Good evening, guys. Stuart, nice to see you, buddy. So we went to another, I think if you share it out, it seems to, loads of people seem to come in at once. There was one week, it was, they'd put it in one of the, in a bloke's recommended thing. Under his, he got 120,000 subscribers. Well, we had loads in. We had, I can't remember how many views there was on it. Over 400 for a little live stream on a phone. I thought I was quite chuffed. I thought this is the future. This is it. It was like being famous. The chat was going like this, but not anymore. Anyway, tomorrow I'm going to a tapas restaurant. I'm taking her out tomorrow, and then when I get back from there at 4 o'clock, I've got to take Jeff to the vets. So that's my exciting day. Well, the first part will be exciting, the second one won't. But they rang up today because obviously they took all sorts of samples and stuff like that from him last week. We thought he got cancer. I was bloody heartbroken. I thought, I can't be, because there's no way I was going to put him through that. I'd just, good name for a cat. It was my dad's name as well, you see. But I should have called him Jeff, Jeff, because when you go in and say, oh, what's the cat's name? So you tell them and they spell it wrong, and then they're going, I can't find him. I said, I can't believe we've done that. It's a bloody cat. But, yeah, Jeff. He's lovely. He really is. He's a big black neutered Tom. And we've had him, he's at 11 about now. We had one called Sam before that. I always call him by human names because there's nothing worse than trying to get him in going, Tiddles, come in. So I called him Jeff. My dad says, what you call him Jeff for? Because if I lose one of you, I've still got one. I said, I can't fault you. Tui blue flamingo, other end of the island. All right. So what's that? Player Blanca then? I'm going to have a look at that. Bull Mastiff called Percy. It was ever so funny because when I took him down, I rang him up. I said, you won't believe this. I said, the vet's just come out of the door and shouted, Jeff Beavers for castration. He said, shut up. He said, you're making my eyes run. Obviously, it was the cat. What are you doing? Yeah, he gets called Dickhead. Yeah, well, he gets called all sorts of things. He's doing the usual thing. For over 4 years when we used to do, hang on. Over 4 years when we used to do that vape show, as soon as you press go live, he wanted to go out. And now he's doing the same thing. He's been out once and then come back in because he didn't like it very much. And now he'll play me up now until I let him out. He's a bloody nuisance. Go sleep. Bring it in. But we were really worried about him because he stopped, he wasn't eating. He wasn't eating at all. And he was just laid there purring. And he looked really uncomfortable and miserable. So I said I took him down and they actually kept him in that night on a drip. His temperature was 42, I think she said. But he didn't feel warm. He didn't feel warm on his skin. And normally if you just get hold of their ears, they feel warm if they've got a temperature. And his eyes weren't running out like that. Got my current dog from a rescue. School kids visit the centre and get to name the animals. My dog's called Custard. Nice. I like that. It could have been worse, I suppose, could it? Custard. My dog gets called Little Twat more than his real name, yeah. Yeah, mine gets called Will You F Off out of the way. Because we've had him that long. Yeah, I'm glad he's okay. I love him to bits. I'll go down for a sandwich. I always have a sandwich before I go out. I go to work at 2, so I have a sandwich about 1:30, something like that. And as soon as I open that fridge, it's as if he knows what time it is. So he'll go down there and he'll sit there and he'll stare up at me like that. And he's like, where's my slice of ham? Because he knows that every day he's going to get one. And he'd even stopped going down for that. Never even moved. So we knew it went very well. Ours is half the reason I didn't make aliens. Bloody thing, every time I'd stretch a decoy out, I think it's something to want. Oh dear. We've had dogs in the past, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't say I ain't got no affection for them, because if somebody else comes with a dog, I'm all over it. But I think no, I've got more affection for a cat. I love cats. I genuinely love cats. I've always loved cats since I was a kid. So I think we're doing well. We've had 11, 12, 13 people in most of the time. So I think that's good, doing pretty well for a channel with 277 subscribers. I've forgotten, it's not the easiest job in the world, is it? Building a YouTube channel, and especially when it's been really nice weather. I remember with the other one, it used to drop off somewhat awful, but I've put a few shorts on the Mick review stuff this week, and each one of them's had over 1,000 views. So it's meant they may be promoting shorts now. You never know. It's one of the twin cat, but he's allergic to the bloody thing. Yeah, if he starts scratching about, I'm a bit the same. Yeah, it was beautiful, but we desperately needed some water. I did some videos, and the one in particular I watched across this cornfield, and the cracks were that wide. You know what I mean? And that's it. If you don't get some rain on them, these poor buggers will go bankrupt, won't they? Don't forget to like and subscribe. It does actually do good. If you've got if people interact with the video, it definitely does some good. I don't know how many thumbs up you've got to have to make it do good, but like now, 15 people, it's lovely. My old neighbour years ago decided he wanted to end my 2 cats and dump them at the end of my garden. Oh, that's disgraceful, isn't it? That's that bloke wants something bad to happen to him. That's awful. We were a bit worried about him. Initially, we didn't know if they'd been run into by a car. His actual spleen, it was infected. He got an infection in his spleen. That was what was doing him. Oh, bloody hell, that's awful. Did you ring the police? Because you can get done for that. You can get done for anything, can't you? They're not classed as vermin. I never got right to roam and this, that, and the other, but because if you're unlucky enough, I've done it. You'd be working away at night, just minding your own business, and cats will bolt out from anywhere. And you got it sorted. Good lad. I hope you got it sorted. I hope you got it proper sorted. Sometimes there's better things in life than coppers. Yeah, I wouldn't have that. That's one thing, so if I ever saw anybody trying to hurt him, they'd be getting sorted and all, you know what I mean? I'm from a council estate, so that's it. You've got 7 cats relative from yours. How do you work that out? Do the rest of them just turn up? We've got 3.5, because there's one that used to live next door, and she went and moved in somewhere else because she's really old. And so she comes around for a free feed, and then next door's like, he'll just think, oh, well, I'll have a bit of that while you're having some, that type of thing. Cats scare the shit out of me at night. Little buggers sit on the curb and play chicken. They do, yeah. Yeah, they do. Over my taxi driving career, I've had a few. and you just have to forget about it. There's no you can do. You ain't got to ring the. I think they were trying to make it so you did have to get in touch with the police. I don't know how you do it though, because there's nowhere to report it to. They're always shut. But they just bolt out, don't they? And it's usually because another cat's chased it, because they argue about. They're a bit mental, aren't they? Really. They have a turf war, don't they? About a bit of ground that they don't own. They're always at it. But when I first took him down the other week, when he was initially not very well, the woman said, in the cat world, what happens is they'll pretend. Yeah, no, never trust a cat. They pretend they're all right, even when they're not very well. Because he said, in the cat world, if you're not able to fight, then you're dead. They'll just take advantage and knock you about, and to the point that they'll kill you, because that's the way they are. So they said, she said they'd had a cat in one day and it had got 2 displaced hips, and it was just walking around like normal. I think my wife's cat has fallen out with me. He's been down. We found out anyway. Don't tell him. Yeah, they are hardcore. Yeah, definitely hardcore. Yeah. Whereabouts are you then, Red? The other day they gave me this dispenser thing. Oh, they didn't. I bought it, but you shove the tablet in the end of it. It's like some little jaw things like that. So you shove the tablet in. Go down there like that on the side of his mouth and pop her in, and he go like that, and it's gone. And that worked all right for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden he started to feel better. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, the one next door used to, but even she doesn't do that now. She used to drop us half a mouse on the thing, but he's never really done it. I think he's too lazy. He had the balls to tell me he did it because they went in the bush in his garden. They've got free right to roam. He could have got seriously in trouble for that, and he should have done no. Anyway, if it got sorted, that's near enough. Because you can't bring them back, can you? Pretty disgraceful. You can't believe it, can you? There was once an old stray that just used to hang about around here, and people used to throw it scraps. Sorted, a bit of Glasgow sorted. And people just used to give it scraps. It was struggling that. And some kids threw a stone at it one day and killed it. And I think they actually got in trouble for it. My old cat used to bring fully grown rabbits home every day. This one of ours, when he was much younger, they got a baby rabbit one night, and I come in. Yeah, little rabbits. Yeah, they got and they murdered it. You could hear it screaming outside. It was the most revolting thing I've ever read in my life. But I thought, well, it's half dead now. I can't leave it half dead. So I just sort of come in and put my fingers in my ears. And the next day there was like a hip bone left. I don't know where the rest of it went. So whether a dog would come round for a bite as well. Yeah. Oh, you need to beef your cats up. Yeah, it was just a little tiny baby rabbit, and I say they'd already damaged it by the time I got anywhere near him. It was the most awful thing, but they bloody ripped it to bits and ate it. I was once come down the path with a dead bird in his mouth, but it was a seagull, and that's the gospel truth. And it had been outside for a day or two, so our cat decided to bring it down the path as if. Probably late at night. But they were definitely killing it. There was that one there, and then the one from next door. This one ours, and the one from next door. And it's dragging this bloody dead seagull down the path as if he'd killed it. And my wife said, "I don't think you have, mate." And he got all embarrassed. Came in with a quail. Christ. I bet they take some dragging about, because they're fairly tough-looking things, aren't they, quails? Anybody ever had a quail egg? They're beautiful. A bit fiddly, but they're bloody nice. I watched a squirrel fight with a seagull once for about 20 minutes, then kill it. Christ. My cat is a princess, and I'm sure she would enslave us all if she... Yeah, they are. Yeah, he's laid here now, and he keeps looking at me. He's been down and had a bit more food, and now he's having a bit of a lick. Oh, I was telling you about... So I got this thing, shove it in there like that. That was all right for the first couple of days. So then I'm like, right, here we go. I've mastered this now. I'm going to give him his tablet. You ain't got a chance, pal. As soon as I got the thing anywhere near his mouth, he put his paw up and knocked it out of the way. As soon as he got it in his mouth, he went and spit it out. My wife said, I'll get him. She got some tuna. So we ground it up and mixed it into this tuna. And we're giggling away as he's munching into it. It's like, got you. Yeah, they do, don't they? Break the necks. Especially if you've got a straight through house. Because they don't know, obviously they don't know what glass is, do they? Oh, it was past Egg Lane. Wow. Yeah, we lived in a house growing up, and you could see straight through the living room window out into the backyard, and the amount of ones that were used to it there. Boosh. No, it spat it out. It spat the tablet out. I'm thinking, great, I've got him. So I've got hold of his face like that. And I'm thinking, go on, swallow. Anyway, as soon as you took, well, they do spit, don't they? But as soon as I took my hand away, he went and spit the bloody tablet back out. His lady, he's got a bald belly. He's got a bald, they've shaved him all down here, down the bottom end of his belly. And on his thing, the other day when he come back, she said, "Oh, you can take that bandage off his leg in about 3/4 of an hour," just because he'd had a drip into his thing to get him going again. I said, "Oh, all right then." So I comes up that, and I'm trying to take this thing off, and it was obviously sore because I'm trying to pull this bandage and thinking, "Oh, it'll just come off," and he kept going, "Meow," and then putting his paw out. I felt so sorry for him. And he wanted to go out, and I said, "You're not going out with that on," because I said there'll be somebody bringing up, somebody on Facebook going, "Oh, who's let their cat out and it's this ill," you know what I mean? Anyway, when I come home, I sort of went to make out as I was trying to grab this bandage, and he gradually walked up the stairs. So I went out and shut the door and locked it, and off I went back to work. And when I come back, he come down the stairs like a bulldog, and he's walking like this, like, "I'm going out." And I thought, you can't with that bandage on. When I looked, he took it off himself. He thought he was a lion, never mind a tiger. Yeah, like they do, yeah. Did you know glass is liquid, and over a long time it gets thicker at the bottom due to gravity? No, I didn't know that. Every street has a nosy Doris. Yeah, they have, yeah. Yeah, we've got one newly retired. Nothing much to do other than tell you about stuff. That's what happens. Right, then I have to go. It's been a pleasure, folks. Look forward to the tapas video. Now, I don't think it's an indoor sort of place. I don't think I've got the thing, you know. I don't think I've got it. It's a bit different with Tim because he's sort of sat outside, isn't he? I think I'm going as well because Sue's home. Bless her. Right, I'm going to have to go. It's 8 minutes past 11. I've got chattering away here. 6 minutes past 11 and Sue's just come home. So I better go and speak to her because I ain't seen her much today and it's her birthday. Thank you so much for coming in. If you've enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up. And if you've really enjoyed it, why not stay and give us a subscription? And thanks very much if you're watching it on the replay. Don't forget to say happy birthday for me. I won't, mate. I won't. Thank you very much. Catch you soon, everyone. Yeah, you will catch another one, yeah. Yes, if you're subscribed anyway, you'll catch quite a few different bits if you're interested. Good night, then. Catch you soon, buddy. Bye-bye, mate.